The government has two main ways it encourages first-time buyers to get on the property ladder. They are the shared ownership and the help to buy equity loan. In today's video, I'm going to tell you which one I think is the best way to go. What's good YouTube? It's your boy Nelson 9 Bills and I'm back with another video. For those who don't know me, I'm Nelson. I run this YouTube channel, Adulting 101. We talk about all the things that you never learn in school but are faced with in reality. And I also run 9 Bills, which is a UK music platform supporting and encouraging music culture. Follow both of those. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. To save everyone watching this 6 or 7 minute video, how long it's going to be, the better scheme is the help to buy equity loan. That's a spoiler. Do your research as well. This isn't financial advice. This isn't me telling you what to do with your life. It's just what I think based on research and based on lived experiences. Obviously, I have my house and I got it through the help to buy equity loan. So I'm going to give you the main reasons I think that equity loan is a better route. And of course, do your own research. Leave a like if you like it, or comment if you disagree or agree what your experiences are. So the shared ownership, for those who don't know, it's a quick overview, is you get a property and you own a part of it. So you'd get a mortgage on, let's say, 20% of the property. If it's 100K, you would own 20% of that property and you'd pay a mortgage for that, but then you'd pay rent for the rest of it. The main reason I don't like the shared ownership scheme is that you're liable as a landlord, also restricted as a tenant. So it's like the worst of both worlds. I've got another video which goes into the details of whether it's better to rent or buy, and I have the disadvantages and the advantages of both of them. With the shared ownership, you get the disadvantages for both of them. So like that already doesn't make sense to me. The main thing is that you can get evicted from a property that you own if you stop paying the rent. So although you would have a mortgage on it, which obviously affects your affordability and committed spending, so if you're trying to get a loan elsewhere, you're trying to do other things, that's going to come up on your record as something that you pay to, but then also you could be homeless. So yeah, it's ridiculous. And then the other thing about it is that you have the responsibilities of a landlord even though you're a tenant. So the service charge is, let's say the service charge is £1,000, you only own 20% of the property, but you have to pay 100% of the service charge, 100% of the council tax, 100% of these things that should go to your landlord really. If you was renting just privately, you wouldn't pay the service charge, you'd just pay a fixed amount for rent and that's it. The third thing I don't like about it is that when it comes to selling, you can only sell your 20%. So obviously you'd get the capital appreciation, but really the council or the government will like make much more money than you. It's not a fair deal. So there are advantages, like for instance, some properties are like just unaffordable, especially in London. If you're trying to live in like Liverpool Street or like somewhere like Zone 1 close to London, you couldn't, even with the other equity scheme, even if they give you 40%, you're still going to need to be earning like 100, 150, 200,000 pounds per year to be able to get a mortgage for 55% or 50% of the 55% if you put down a 5% deposit to even get a mortgage for 55% of £1 million house. Like, do you know what I mean? It's crazy. But with the shared ownership thing, you're still going to be paying loads because the price is still the same, but at least you get to live in a more desirable area, but with the disbenefits, if you like, of being a landlord. So yeah, personally I wouldn't recommend that to anyone. And I've seen some YouTube videos and seen some like stuff on BBC as well, where it's like people have had some horrible experiences with things breaking, and they're like the landlord, but they're also the tenant, but it's their responsibility to fix things. They're paying bills for stuff that was never built properly. On the other hand, the help to buy equity loan, which I said is what I got in London, they're like different terms and conditions of what the value of the property can be that you can buy. I'm going to use London as the example because that's where I'm at. Do your research on the Help to Buy website. All this information is free online. Just take 2 minutes and type it in. I'll leave the link down below if you're that lazy. But yeah, with the Help to Buy equity loan, you can purchase a new build property up to £600,000, and the government will give you up to 40% interest-free loan. So the loan is interest-free. You pay a £1 a month admin fee, so like £12 a year. But in the instance of both the Help to Buy schemes, the shared ownership and the equity loan, they only apply on new build properties. So like the first people to move in. A lot of the time you'll buy it off plan, which means you buy it before it's even built. I don't know how people feel about that. That's what I did. It was a strange experience, but you know, I just trusted them to make something good, and it was all right. Also, there are limits, so you couldn't go in and buy £1 million house. I think in London, the maximum value is £600,000, which that's like some 1-bed flats if you're in zone 1. So it's depending on where you are in London, it's a techie one still. Also, for all first-time buyers, I would say, and again, this isn't financial advice or personal advice or whatever the thing is that I'm not allowed to do. This isn't that. There's a lifetime ISA which is available to you. I made a video some months back, like 2019, about the lifetime ISA. If you haven't opened a lifetime ISA, then yeah, you can't open one now. The alternative is the lifetime ISA, which basically gives you a 25% bonus every year on whatever you save, but you can only take it out to buy a house or when you're 55 and want to retire, one of the two. So essentially the money is locked away, but if you do feel like you want to buy a house at some point, it's worth keeping there because you get the 25% bonus. If you take it out before then, there's a penalty, which when you work it out, it's effectively like a 10% charge of what you put in. Like you're getting less than what you put in. So yeah, if you plan to withdraw it, or if you want to withdraw it, it's probably not worth doing. But if you plan at some point in your life to buy a house, which I think a lot of people do, it's worth opening one. I'll leave a link down below to Nutmeg, which is where I have my lifetime ISA. Obviously now it's just for retirement, but if you open one, then I think there's no fees for 6 months, and I get something too. So if you're interested and you're going to open one, you don't have to, there's no commitment to paying monthly. If you want to pay something in, then you do so, and you get a 25% bonus on whatever you pay in, up to £1,000 per year. So yeah, that's available to all first-time buyers, and it also works for old houses as well. It doesn't have to be on new builds. When I say which is the best one, I'm looking at it not as a holistic, this is the best thing to do for your life, but in a shorter time period, a more manageable time period is around 5 years. So I try and plan my objectives, my goals, like my life, you know, where my life's going to be over 5 years. So like from now till, I don't know how old I'll be in 5 years, but from now till 5 years, what do I plan to do? Because there's so many variables in life in general that, you know, I might just be in Brazil in the next 5 years, I don't know. And the same thing for everyone out there who's watching this video. Try and plan in time that you can see. Obviously make like longer term plans, but more general, like not as specific. But if you're like, I want to live in this area, for, you know, go to this school or go to this thing, then you can make it more specific the closer you are to it. So with these schemes, I'm looking at it from a 5-year period, and then after 5 years, then you can like decide what you want to do and reevaluate then. Over the 5 years, if you get the shared ownership, in that time you're going to try and staircase and buy more of the property, but during that time the property is likely to increase in value, making it almost impossible to eventually own the whole property. And for that whole time, you're going to be paying rent, which is dead money, which again, I've mentioned in a previous video, which should come up somewhere here, the benefits and disadvantages of buying versus renting, and renting versus buying, just a comparison. So with the shared ownership, you get the worst of both worlds for 5 years, which is awful, to be honest. With the Help to Buy equity loan, over 5 years, you can get 40% of a property in London, 40% equity, which is just like 40% of the money given to you, of a property worth up to £600,000. So if my maths is correct, 10% is 60, 6 times 4 is 24. That's £240,000 interest-free for 5 years. It's £12 admin fee per year, but 12 times 5 is 60. So you're going to pay £60 to have £240,000 given to you interest-free. Now, if that doesn't sound great, I think I've already said this in one of my other videos, but it's essentially free money for 5 years. After the 5 years, you can either sell up and take 55% of the equity, like if the property goes up in value, obviously you take the loss if it goes down, but over time, property prices haven't gone down. And yeah, that's the way I see it, is you can save a 5% deposit, get the, if you've had the Help to Buy ISA, by the way, you have to have it for 1 year before you can get the bonus. You have to wait 1 year before you can get the bonus, but let's say you've had it for a few years, you get your bonus, you're paying in £4,000 per year to get the 1,000 bonus, you get £2,000. A lot of the developers are give you like some incentives as well, like some cash back, these kind of things. And then you have the property that you live in, all brand new. You know, the developer has a lot of the responsibilities. If things are broken or things aren't working properly, they'll come and fix it for you. And then in 5 years, depending on what your circumstances are, if you've made enough money to buy and pay off the equity loan, you can do. If you've made enough money that you're able to service the payment after 5 years, because after 5 years you start paying interest. If you're making enough money, you still want to live where you live in, you can do that too. And if not, you could sell, take all your money that you've been paying in your mortgage payments minus the interest, like every month you're paying, that's like going towards your house. So you sell, you get all your money back, plus your deposit back, plus any capital appreciation, 55% of it. So I'm saying that's not even, 60% even. You get 60% of capital appreciation, which is just how much your house was worth now versus how much you bought it for. You get to keep all that. So yeah, it's a no-brainer. The shared ownership to me is a bump. Help to buy equity loan if you're looking to buy, if you're a first-time buyer looking to buy a new build property, that's the way to go. Yeah, shout out everyone who's watching this, innit?